Yo, what's up, people? Welcome back. Today I'm bringing you a UU battle versus Blake. And this is going to be a good battle. I was afraid of his team. I was afraid of that freaking pincer because I thought it was going to be a mega pincer. And it wasn't a mega pincer. This is UU. This is not OU. Pincer just really scares me because it's so strong. And if that was a mega pincer, it could have just swept through my whole team. So I'm bringing the same team as last time. And I just really wanted to show him off because I didn't use him that well last time, especially Zario. I wanted to use him a little bit better. But before we get into the battle, please hit that like button. It helps a lot. It really does. It helps spread my channel and all that. And we're just going to go ahead and get right into the battle. So getting into the battle, I figured that it's best to lead with Sharpedo, as he's pretty much been my go-to Pokemon for a while now as a lead, as he leads off with his Jolteon, and that is not good. He gets a good switch matchup, and I have to go for the Protect the first turn just to scout what he's going to go for. If he goes for Thunderbolt, I can switch out into my Donphan, but instead he goes for Signal Beam, which is a great move. It hits all my Pokemon, especially if I try to switch into a Dark type. So I will go out into my Donphan, as he is the only person that can take a Signal Beam. I know it's not a 2-hit KO, so I can stay in, go for an Earthquake, as I know he's not going to stay in with the Jolteon because he needs this Jolteon. It's not good losing a Jolteon at the beginning of the game. So I know he's going to switch out because he doesn't want to take an Earthquake, and that pretty much solidified that he is choiced. So I'm just going to go for knockoff as this Empoleon does come off. And I'm able to catch it with the knockoff, and I'm going to knock off this thing's leftovers. And that's great because I freaking hate Empoleon. See, I do say freaking a lot. I need to stop saying freaking a lot. Somebody pointed that out to me. So I'm going to withdraw my Donphan right here, and I'm going to go out to my Sceptile because I thought he was going to go for a Scald. That's what these things usually run, as he actually goes for an Ice Beam. This guy's making all the safe plays, but I do survive because I'm not a Mega Sceptile just yet. So I'm thinking that he feared Focus Blast, as he does switch out and he goes out into his Nightwing, which is this Crobat. Crobats tank the hell out of my Sceptile because I mostly run grass type attacks. There's Dragon Pulse, but I'm pretty sure it takes it very well. But I did decide to go for Leaf Storm just in case he wanted to keep that freaking Empoleon in. It's a working effort. We need to work through this. So Leaf Storm would have hit this thing the hardest. I do not have Focus Blast on this Sceptile, so I figured I had to switch out. I'm going to go out to my Donphan. I thought it was more physical, as that Empoleon is more support. He wouldn't run 2 support Pokemon capable of defogging. So I figured that thing was going to be physical, so I did switch out into my Donphan, as he does catch me with a U-turn, and he goes right back out into this Empoleon. And that's not good, because I need my Donphan just in case he sets up Stealth Rocks. So I have to switch him out right here. So I'm going to switch out my Donphan right here and go into my Sharpedo, as at this point he does catch my switch out and he goes for, no, he goes for a Scald. He went for a Scald. So he goes for the Scald and he does get the burn versus my Sharpedo, as I really don't mind because, as y'all already know, I run mostly a special Sharpedo in UU because nobody ever sees it coming. So I'm going to go for a Dark Pulse right here. Get some damage on this thing. It's not big damage, but it's damage. Damage is damage. But he does get this chance to set up his Stealth Rocks. And I really need this thing off my field. I have a Swellow on my team, and I hate having residual damage. So I am going to get the speed boost right here. And I figured that he's going to switch out into that Scrafty, because Scrafty is a really good play. He can come in, set up if he wants to. So I just went for a Scald. Even if that Empoleon did stay in, getting a burn would be great. As I go for the Scald, this thing takes a Scald to the face. It gets over 50%, so I know he's not going to stay in. So I figured it'd be best just to go for another Scald at this point, as it can take this out. It could burn somebody, and Scald just has no cons. So he does go out into his Pinscher. I really don't know why. I lose nothing by going for another Scald, as this Pinscher does take a Scald to the face and it's going to get burned. And that's great. Real G's get burned first turn. So I am going to go down to the Life Orb, which I don't mind. The Sharpedo came in, did a lot of damage. It did a whole bunch of work, and that's just great. So at this point, I can go out into my Donphan again, and I hate this. I actually made a misplay. I thought he was going to switch out, predicting my Rapid Spin so he can get my rocks back up, but instead he goes for X Scissor, as I do go for the Earthquake. See, this is my thought process. If I would have went for the Earthquake, he would have switched out into Empoleon to block the Rapid Spin so we can reset up the Stealth Rocks. I would have caught him with the Earthquake, would have got the Rapid Spin off on somebody else, and that would have been great. But no, he just went for an X Scissor because Pinsir is burned, so what sense would it make to switch out? I should have just went for the Rapid Spin. So now the Empoleon is going to come back out. I really couldn't afford to switch out again, so I just let my Don Pan die right here. As these rocks are here to stay, unfortunately. Swallow is just going to take some damage when it comes in. So I figured that this is a great time to bring in this Druddigon, since Druddigon can win to KO this thing. And I'm not afraid of a Scald or anything. But this thing does have Ice Beam, so I figured it'd just go for Ice Beam, as I know I can take it down with an Earthquake. As this thing has Scald and Ice Beam, so I figured it's not fully defensive, so I knew an Earthquake would be able to kill. So what am I talking about? This is not a Druddigon. This is a Haxorus. So this Cleopatra comes out. This freaking coffin mofo right here comes out. So I have to switch out. I don't want to get burned. And I figured that my Sceptile, he is okay with being burned. He's special and all. Doesn't really matter. If he gets burned, he can survive one more turn. I'm making all the rhymes right here. And so he does go for the Will-O-Wisp, burns my Sceptile, and I'm going to survive that because I'm at a decent amount of HP. I wanted to go for a Giga Drain. I went for Giga Drain this turn just so I can get enough HP to survive another turn of burn, but I thought I wasn't going to survive for a second because I did like little damage to this freaking Crobat. But I just barely survived right here. I'm getting ahead of myself. I just barely survived right here with 4 HP, which is great, as I will be able to get off some good damage versus this freaking Crobat right here. And it just puts it in range of a quick attack from my Swellow. Also, it puts it in range of Sucker Punch from my Zoroark. So he does get a crit. That's great. He just burned his luck right here on this crit. So I don't have to worry about any crits soon. So I figure it's time to go out into my Swellow. Swellow can get a quick attack. It can do some work in here. But as y'all probably know, this thing did not take any good Stealth Rock damage. So this actually is Zoroark. So I'm going to go for the Sucker Punch right here. Knock out this Crobat. And my Zoroark is just looking great. He already got a knockout. He just came in, helped clean this freaking Crobat out. And this is great. This is great. So now this Cleopatra comes out. I really don't have anything to fear. I can just go straight for a knockoff, knock this thing's item off, get some big damage. And that takes more than half. I do get my illusion replaced with Mummy, so I do reveal that this is my Shippo right here. Shouts out to the people that watch Inuyasha. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching Inuyasha. So, I don't mind getting Will-O-Wisp because I am a mixed Zoroark. And I love running mixed Pokemon on my team, especially Zoroark. I like Zoroark. I just figured I wanted to use a mixed Zoroark. So, I have nothing to fear. This was actually a very good play. I forgot all about the Scrafty. If he would have burned me and I was a physical Zoroark, he would have been able to set up with his Scrafty and sweep me. But because I'm special, I went for Flamethrower. I did get a crit. It really didn't matter because I just could go for another crit the next turn, knock it out. Can't really switch out into anything because they don't want to take any Flamethrowers. So at this point, he goes out into his freaking Jolteon right here. And I decide I just want to get some chip damage versus this thing. Just in case I need to rely on my Swellow's quick attack. As that does a small amount. It does a decent amount. It's doing its job. Damage is damage. And my freaking Shippo goes down. So now I decide it's time to go out into Haxorus. Not Druddigon, Haxorus. I know I could take a Thunderbolt. Especially from a Jolteon. I think this thing is Choice Scarf. Not Choice Scarf, Choice Specs. Because if it wasn't, then he wouldn't have to worry about speed or anything. Who Choice Scarfs Jolteon? So, I went straight for an Earthquake. Didn't want to go for a Dragon Dance, get paralyzed, and get hexed all over the place. As I do catch this Coffergigas right here. So, at this point, I decide I'm going to go for a Dragon Dance. Why did I go for Dragon Dance? Because even though he'll Will-O-Wisp me. Well, I went for Dragon Dance in case, like, if he Will-O-Wisp me, I could take him down the next turn. And I could still take out the Jolteon, outspeed it. But instead he goes for Shadow Ball. I do live it. Not sure if that's a roll. I don't think it's a roll because I lived with a decent amount of HP. But I will outspeed this Jolteon due to the Dragon Dance, and I will just take this thing's life away. And the last Pokemon surviving is Swellow. Whenever I bring Swellow, Swellow just tears things up. It's the last Pokemon that survived, and that's just great. We won 1-0. But thanks for watching. If y'all did watch this far, really, really thank you. And if you liked, hit the like. If you liked it, hit the like button. If there's anything I could have done better, just comment. Like, I was just stuttering all over the place. Y'all know how I get nervous and all that. Ain't crap yet. But thanks for watching. If y'all want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I also have a whole bunch of videos. Just go to the channel and check them out. But thanks for watching as always.